Hello everybody, this is Suyash back again with another video, and today I'm very excited to share with you what I'm going to say in this video, because what I'm going to share is my first real and concrete experience with what we call the law of attraction and what I like to call the power of the mind. And mostly when one or two things happen and we like to think that they are really manifestations, something has really happened because as a result of us applying the law of attraction, we often are also confused that it may have been a coincidence. But when so many things happen in rapid succession, quickly, one after the other, when so many things happen, then we really create a sense of belief in ourselves, and that is what happened with me. This happened, I think, about more than 10 years back, and since then, I really changed as a person. My thought process changed, and since then, I've had no problems in applying the law of attraction, because the notion that maybe it doesn't work has started to really seem absurd to me because of these 6 things that happened within a time span of 3 to 4 days. And I am really excited to share it with you. I'm sure that you will also be super excited at the end of this video, in which I'll be telling you 6 things that happened to you that made my belief in the law of attraction rock solid. So this basically is about a trip that I and my father took to a very small, very remote location in the eastern part of India, which is called Rangpo. I'm sure many of us have not even heard the name of this place. It is in the very small but extremely beautiful Indian state of Sikkim, and I and my father, we decided to just go there because it's so beautiful, and also because we had some work there. And it was a last minute trip. So one of the biggest problems that we have here in India, that if you are going to travel, you really have to time it. You have to plan everything in advance, and you have to get all the reservations, the bookings done. So mostly we travel by train, especially to small places which don't really have airports. So we decided to go by train, but the problem was that we didn't really have reservations. And there are mainly different classes in any train. I guess that's how it is in every part of the world, that you pay more and you'll get more comfortable, you'll have a more comfortable trip. You want to pay a little less, it'll be less comfortable. So similarly, we have something that is called AC 3 tier, which is basically an air conditioned coach, but the bunks in which you can sleep, and since these are long journeys, you have to make sure that there's comfortable arrangement for you to sleep. So in AC 3 tier, there are 3 bunks, and so if you're sleeping there, you don't have a lot of space to move. And so I absolutely didn't like, and still don't like, the AC 3 tier accommodation. And then there's something else which is called AC 2 tier, which has 2 bunks, and so there's a lot of space and you can easily have a good night's sleep in AC 2 tier. So since it was a last minute trip, my father had got this reservation done, and he told me, and he was very sympathetic towards me because he understands my dislike for AC 3 tier, but he said, son, since it's last minute, I have tried to get reservation in both of them just in case any one gets confirmed, but we have AC 3 confirmed. AC 2, we have a long line of waitlisted people ahead of us, and so there is absolutely no chance that we'll get into AC 2, and so we'll have to travel in AC 3. Now I was okay with it. It's okay, no problem. It's a small journey, not a big deal, maybe 12-14 hours, not a big deal, but still I kept wondering what it would be like if we got reservation in AC 2nd, in AC 2. And so I thought, what do I have to lose? What I'll do is I just close my eyes and I'll just visualize just having this space and this comfort of traveling in AC 2, because that's what I liked. And so that's what I did. I just closed my eyes, visualized it, felt really grateful for it, even though I knew that maybe there's no chance, but I just thought, what's the harm? So anyway, the date of the travel arrived, and when I was just entering the train, my father stopped me. What are you doing? This is AC 3. Our reservation is in AC 2. I said, what? What are you talking about? And he told me that, it was so miraculous and this is so strange. It almost never happens, but I don't know how. Maybe a huge bulk of people actually got their tickets cancelled because we got confirmed berths, we got confirmed tickets in AC 2nd, which is something absolutely unheard of. It doesn't happen, but it happened in our case. Now, if this was a standalone experience, I would probably have thought that, okay, maybe it was a coincidence. My mind and I personally don't have so much power that I can do this, so it must have been a coincidence. But since so many more things happened, I returned from that trip a changed man. So what happened next was We were going to Rangpo, but since Rangpo is a very small place, it doesn't have its own railway station. So the closest railway station is a place called New Jalpaiguri, or NJP. So basically what we had to do, we had to disembark at NJP, and from there we had to take a car to Rangpo. Now everybody, our co-travelers, people we met on the way, maybe we made friends with them, and they told us that getting a private taxi is very expensive, so why don't you just go for a shared one, and that'll be comfortable. It's just a 2.5 hour journey, and the price difference is it's more than triple of what it would be with a shared one. So just go for a shared one, and that's what you should do. Everybody suggested us to do that. Now I didn't say anything to my father because I didn't want to impose my want for comfort on him, but I just thought, okay, what do I have to lose, so I just closed my eyes, visualized myself, and for some reason the image of a white Tata Indica, it's a very popular car here in India, especially for this taxi commercial purposes. So for some reason that image came into my mind, that I'm sitting in a Tata Indica and I'm traveling comfortably, just me and my father and a driver, no sharing, nothing. We have a private car of our own. Anyway, so later on when we disembarked, my father, he decided that okay, we'll just take our own cab, and we did. And what happens is you have to deal with the driver, and then the driver takes you to the car. So when he took us to the car, it was a white Tata Indica, and so we sat and we were on our way to Rangpo, and two things were nagging me about this manifestation. Number one, my father, he's a fairly successful person, and he mostly places a higher premium on the comfort of his family than on saving money. So it's not entirely unlike him to decide to pay more in order to have his family more comfortable. So not really a manifestation, I thought. And the second one, that I was actually in my visualization, I visualized my father sitting next to the driver because that's where he likes to sit for the extra leg room, and I visualized myself sitting at the back in front, behind the driver. So my father sitting next to the driver, myself sitting behind the driver. That's what I visualized. In reality, when I was thinking all this, my father was sitting next to the driver, I was sitting behind my father, not behind the driver. So now I was really thinking that I'm just being ridiculous. If so much has manifested, then why just nitpick on this small thing, and I can just move. But then I thought, if I move myself, it won't really be a manifestation, right? So I was just being this ridiculous person who was not happy in any case, in any condition. Just when I was thinking this, my father said, "Son, can you just move a little bit? Can you move and just go behind the driver so that I can recline my seat and be more comfortable?" So just when I was nitpicking at this very small thing that had not manifested, I was requested to make that happen. And that was really miraculous for me, that my God, it really works, and it really works to the last detail. Anyway, so off we went on our way to Rangpo, and on the way there was a landslide, and there was a huge traffic jam, and everybody told us that it will take 5 hours before the before the traffic gets cleared, or before the authorities clear the road, that traffic can go on the road. I didn't want to wait 5 hours. So again, I just applied the power of my mind, and I intended to manifest a quick passage. It wasn't that quick. It took 5 hours as the locals had predicted. But our driver, he himself was a local, and he was an expert at all these conditions, driving in these conditions. And he had placed the car in a very awkward situation. He just, whatever space he got, he kept driving, he kept going ahead, even though there was no place to go. He kept trying to just go as much ahead as he could. And the Indian Army was called to actually clear the road, and then they worked really hard and they did it. And when they cleared the road, even though at the beginning, when we had actually joined the traffic jam, our car was probably the 50th or the 60th in that row, when the army gave the clearance that now the traffic can pass through that road, our car was the second one to pass through that. So even though it was not something that you will call quick passage because it took 5 hours, it was the quickest possible. It was, literally ours was the quickest car to pass through that situation. And when we reached Rangpo, people actually told us that after just 10 minutes, again the army had to shut down the traffic, and again they had to do some work which took another 3 hours. After that, the other cars could actually pass. So quickest passage possible, because I applied the law of attraction. Okay, so we stayed at Rangpo for about 2 days, if I remember correctly. This was at least 10 or 12 years back. So, but I have written down these details. I have a habit of writing a diary. I've written these down, and that's why I can tell you these things in so much detail. So our work at Rangpo done, we actually had to again make the return journey from Rangpo to NJP, and then from NJP to where I live. And from Rangpo to NJP, again we had to take a cab. And it was a place where we were staying. It was a nice place where we had all these nice people driving around in their cars. And there's a very popular car in India which is called Santro, and that is actually the car that I have at my house. And I saw a Santro driving by, and I just thought, how nice it would be if we can go from Rangpo to NJP in a Santro, because I have that car at home and used to it, and I find it very comfortable. So how nice would it be if we had that car? Anyway, so we again interacted with the transportation guys, and we got a cab booked for us, again a private one. And when we were led to our car, wonder of wonders, it was exactly the same car that I had seen at that time. And I had just intended that how nice would it be if we can go on a Santro. And it was exactly the same car that I had seen at that time that we actually went from Rangpo to NJP in. My God, unbelievable. Okay, so again, the reservations are an ongoing problem for an Indian. And again, so we had to go from NJP back to my city. And again, we didn't have confirmed tickets. And all the way through, while traveling in that Santro car, I kept imagining that we are getting the reservation and we are just traveling very comfortably. And just to test it further, I was testing the limits. How much can I manifest? In what specific detail can I manifest? And I just decided that what if we get 2 lower berths this time? Not even confirmed tickets we had at that time. I was intending for 2 lower berths. 2 lower berths is something that people book 60 days in advance in order to get, because they are extremely hard to get, extremely difficult. We reached the railway station, and outside the train compartment there's actually these charts where you can just check out your name. In front of your name you have the berth number written. We went there, we saw our names, which meant we had confirmed tickets. After that, we saw our berths. We expected them to be the most, the least comfortable berths there, because last minute confirmation. Ladies and gentlemen, and my dear friends and subscribers, 2 lower berths. Can you believe it? I couldn't believe it. It is unheard of. It doesn't happen. Any person that lives in India will tell you it doesn't happen that at the very last moment you are getting a reservation, a confirmation, and it is 2 lower berths. It just doesn't happen unless you apply the power of your mind. Then anything is possible. So I returned from this trip absolutely a changed person. Now I have some thoughts on why this happened. What I can tell you right now, I will make another video about it to tell you in detail what are the circumstances in which the power of your mind is at its peak. When does it work the most? I will tell you about it, so make sure that you subscribe in order to not miss that video. What I can tell you right now, why I think it worked, was because we were traveling, because I was so happy, and because we were traveling to this beautiful place. These mountains, these hills, these trees full of nature. I was having a wonderful time. I was so happy. I was at peace. I was excited. It was wonderful. I was overall having a wonderful experience in life, which was that travel. And that is why anything that I tried to manifest did manifest. I think it is the state of mind that we are in. I think we need something to look forward to in our lives. And if we are looking forward to it, if we are excited about it, if we are doing at least for some time every day something that we truly love. I love traveling, and I think that's why it manifested in the way that it did. If every day we are doing something, even for a little time, even for a little while, something that we truly love doing, I think that creates all the difference. And I think we can accomplish anything, we can manifest anything if we are in that happy state of mind. And that is something that we all can do, if not for the entire duration of the day, at least for a small time in our day, every day. So that's all I wanted to talk to you guys. Please subscribe, because I'll be making so many more videos. Check out my previous videos, I've got so many of them. And follow me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I'll leave the links below in the description. I have a playlist that has all my videos about the law of attraction and theta meditation that I have made. I'll again leave the link below in the description. Please subscribe, and I will see you soon. Thank you. Need to be in that frame of mind, and tiny results, tiny goals, having achieved them, then making bigger goals, achieving them, making even bigger goals. This is how people create billions. This is how people become Olympians.